My name is Cassandra Bethea Shine, and how I got involved with domestic violence. I'm not the typical victim or anything like that. My sister was killed in 2014 by a man that she dated for nearly 3 years. And given her situation, usually the first thing people think is the physical abuse. And that is not always the case. Majority of the time, that is not the case. With domestic violence, it starts with mental isolation, in which both speakers have covered some of that. But I did watch my sister go from a bright, friendly personality to pretty much almost a walking zombie. So that's what they do. They steal your soul, your emotions, your mental, and then it starts physical. But once they do that, they have instilled that fear in you and you become paralyzed. And you're scared to move. You're scared to share with anyone. My sister was part of Black Girls Run, and that was part of like her outlet to run and escape mentally. I did watch her, she stopped coming around. Unfortunately, I did not recognize, well, what I thought domestic violence was, I found out I did not know at all. And I know when you meet someone and you know they're not good for them, I knew that he was not good for her. And I was wondering, why are you with him? But my sister was the type that, oh, this is how we do. He would cuss her out, disrespect her. And my sister had a way of, standing up for herself and that kind of thing. But I did not realize that she was in danger because she didn't want anybody to know. And it wasn't until the later signs and after it happened, because we talk about domestic violence, and I am so glad that so many women are sounding the silence now. We talk about domestic violence, but I begin to think, do we really know what domestic violence is when we encounter it? Or how serious do we take it? And I don't think my sister really took it seriously until it was a little bit too late for her. And I do want to say something that was not mentioned is restraining orders. Restraining orders, those are the most dangerous time for a woman. My sister took out a restraining order that day, and she was killed that day. Started going on social media, sharing her story, and I shared it in first person as if she was telling her own story. I would put a picture up and I would write something in less than 5 minutes, and it was like her spirit was talking to me. I don't know how it happened. And then I just like sound the silence in domestic violence. But what surprised me, y'all, was so many women came out and start talking about domestic violence. And that's when I realized, like, wow, this is an epidemic in our society. I had no idea. And it was even survivors. Well, of course, the victims weren't coming out, but once I seen the survivors coming out, and they had been in a survival for like 20 years, even my sister-in-law. But that shame, that guilt, that stigma, judgment, people don't want to share, or they're scared to share. And I always say it is through our voices and stories that we can help victims become survivors. And so I thought it was very important that people share their stories. And Cheryl has given a voice to so many women. It's been amazing.